third-person cover shooter, a 3D platformer, and an almost GTA clone, all on the GBA? Yeah, today, we'd like to showcase to you some bizarre but ambitious 3D games for the GBA. Now, let's blast some low-res polygons and jump in. Kill Switch, originally developed by Namco and released on the PS2, Xbox, and PC in 2003, we step into the shoes of super soldier Nick Bishop, fighting through a series of combat missions and uncovering the mysteries of his past. The GBA port was developed separately by Destination Software, and the verdict? It's a pretty remarkable handheld port that makes great use of its 3D graphics engine, tactical third-person shooting mechanics and level design, and even implementing the unique cover-based system that the console game was known for. Also, just like its big bro console game, this one on GBA definitely ain't no run and gun, so precise shots behind cover and stop, drop, and roll is how you'll survive in this war. If you're searching for that solid third-person cover-based shooter for GBA, search no more with Kill Switch. Star Wars Flight of the Falcon. Rogue Squadron on GBA? Star Wars Flight of the Falcon, developed by Pocket Studios, is a 3D-ish flight combat shooter exclusive to the handheld platform. Just like the Rogue Squadron series, this GBA game lets you replay iconic moments from the original trilogy, such as the battle on the Death Star and the speed bike chase on Endor, along with some original missions of its own. But how does it translate the Squadron experience to the small screen? Not entirely well. See, due to the limitations of the GBA, this game struggles with huge frame rate dips, long levels, and a target reticle that's clunky and as accurate as a stormtrooper's aim. It's hard to know where and what you're shooting at, no thanks to the low-res graphics. But on the light side of the force, the iconic music and sound effects do their jobs, and just the sheer fact that the dev team attempted to create a full-fledged Rogue Squadron experience to GBA back in 2003 is most impressive. Do play this one if you're a brave young Padawan. Asterix and Obelix XXL. Next, we'd like to showcase a game that's a little lesser known title for folks outside of Europe. Asterix and Obelix XXL, developed by Infogrames and based on the popular French comic book series, this game puts you in the sandals of Asterix and Obelix in the year 50 BC. As the two set off to battle the Romans. This here is another impressive 3D GBA port. Here with its PS1-style graphics, the occasional platforming, water sliding, collecting helmets, and beat-em-up combat. Since Mario never really made his 3D translation to GBA, we think Asterix and Obelix should fill in the gap nicely for all your 3D platformer collectathon desires. Need for Speed Underground. What can we say about this one? It's literally Need for Speed Underground, but for GBA, so yeah, of course not everything is gonna be one for one with the home console game, but nevertheless, the fact that the dev team did their best to squeeze in as much content as possible for this handheld port is super neat. We get a variety of racetracks, they even ported the Fire soundtrack here, although sounds a little crunchy, as well as impressive 3D car models and environments that really do pack a punch. This one's sure to pump up your racing juices. Driver 3, another handheld port of a console game. Driver 3, developed by VD Dev, is the open-world GTA clone experience on the GBA. You play as undercover FBI agent John Tanner, whose mission is to stop a car smuggling plot across 3 global cities and other related crime-busting objectives. Yes, we're aware of the fact that GTA Liberty City Stories for PlayStation Portable also came out the same year, and the exact date? So suffice to say, that one is the superior handheld open-world experience. However, Driver 3 still manages to leave an impression, simply for the fact that it brings that similar 3D open-world experience to the less powerful GBA. An array of open-world mission objectives, crime-fighting spectacles, and a variety of cars to choose from. Driver 3 for GBA is downright impressive. 007 Nightfire. If you thought things would end at third-person action games, here's 007 Nightfire, proving that the GBA does indeed have some first-person shooters in the ring. Developed by JV Games, you play as James Bond in pursuit of stopping nukes from doing some dukes. The game really shines from its variety of iconic Bond gadgets and weapons, stealth action missions, full-on shootouts, blowing up some helis with missiles, and shooting lasers in space never disappoints. And doing all of this as a full-fledged 3D FPS game on the GBA, showcasing that this little guy was able to do a lot more than your typical 2D side-scrollers, and watching Shrek 1 in glorious 112 resolution. Thanks for watching. watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more glorious gaming content. See you in the next one.